Hey guys, I'm Kyle,
I'm Kennedy.
I'm Abby.
I'm Lydia.
I'm Gabby.
And I'm Riley.
and you guys are listening to the Mixed Messages podcast with the Sustainable Sisters Project. Hi guys, welcome back to the third episode of Mixed Messages with the Sustainable Sisters. Today it is just Kyle and Kennedy, K squared, if you will. We are coming to you guys from the same room for the first time.
Whoop whoop.
Yay! Thank you, COVID, for not staying any longer than you didn't need to. You're already here for way too long. We're gonna be talking to you guys. Yep. Knock on wood.
There's no wood.
Whatever. I don't know. Um, we're gonna be talking to you guys about something that Sustainable Sisters is very concerned with. Obviously, racism, microaggressions, the African American experience,
Some history, if
some
you will.
history, some current events, and of course, Juneteenth.
Woo!
Yay! We are in the month of June. Juneteenth is June 19th, and Kennedy is going to explain to you, if you don't already know, what Juneteenth is.
Yes. Okay. Juneteenth marks the day when federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas in 1865 to take control of the state and ensure that all enslaved people be freed. Yay! The troops' arrival came a full 2.5 years after the signing of the Emancipation Proclamation. Juneteenth honors the end to slavery in the United States and is considered the longest running African American holiday.
Nice.
Congratulations.
A round of applause for Juneteenth.
It deserves it.
Yes, it does. Juneteenth obviously got a lot more attention in 2020 since it did occur over the summer when we had all the protests and Black Lives Matter was at the forefront of the entire world. So that's
And
spectacular.
Hopefully you didn't miss the episode of Blackish celebrating.
Exactly.
Juneteenth.
If not, go watch the show, the whole
Yeah.
show. Good show.
It's a good one.
All right. So, in complete contrast, not really, to that current event,
I'm sure we all know.
they're like, which one? Which crazy current event? Do you wanna start us on this one?
Let's just say when it happened, when we saw it happen on the TV, I know my heart sort of stopped. Like my parents called me upstairs. My friend was over. We came upstairs and we saw that, and I just like I had to catch my breath because I couldn't believe what I was seeing. Like I didn't know if I should like yell, scream, cry. I was just in shock, in so much shock. Because like who could have thought this could have happened in this day and age? And I think we should finally just say what it is. Do you want me to say it?
Go ahead.
We're discussing the DC riots when they stormed the Capitol.
We did talk about this for like half a second in our last episode when we were talking about the lovely fits of everyone on the TV. Because, you know, can't storm the Capitol looking crazy.
But they did.
Anyway, so for me, when I saw that, I wasn't even surprised. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, it looked terrible, and I was like, what is this? But at the same time, I was like, yep, okay, it's happening. Like, here we go. Here it is.
It's like it's the Hunger Games in real life.
Breaking windows, throwing smoke bombs, walking just anywhere they want, trying to attack members of Congress. Like, what is this? And we got blamed for being violent. You know, over 90% of the BLM protests were like completely peaceful between like police and protesters, and everybody's like, Black Lives Matter is so violent. Like, oh my god,
I know.
guys.
My parents literally said if it had been a Black Lives Matter protest, we wouldn't have even made it to the stairs.
No, and all of them would have been dead.
Yes.
I guarantee you that. Like,
absolutely every one of them.
No, that would have been a massacre. And what we almost got was a massacre of Congress members.
It was. And the fact that police officers were letting people into the Capitol building as well.
Yeah. But there were also a lot of, like, cops that got hurt
They
trying
were
to
trying to
protect people.
protect them, and it
Oh my
was
gosh. It didn't like white police officers, black police officers, everybody was getting attacked. If you weren't on their side, if you weren't holding the door open for them, you
you would
were
have gotten
in the
pummeled.
way. It
There
what?
was a video of they were, I think it was underground, and the police officers were just trying to bat off this entire crowd going from side to
Yeah.
side because people were just trying to jump over them. It was crazy.
I mean, what does that say about like
And
where we are?
ready, and these were the people supporting Blue Lives Matter. Where is that now?
I'm I said that. I did post that on my story. I was like, what, these people only say what they need to in the moment. Like when the circumstance is there for them, they'll support this politician and then 2 seconds later they don't. And then they're all for cops because cops are hurting black people. And 2 seconds later when cops want to do their job, they're like, "Yo, what's going on? What is this?"
It was crazy just watching it happen on TV, and all of them were like, they didn't realize what they were doing. Like how, like, did it? Did
I
any
mean,
of them even get?
they genuinely thought that they were doing
They were in the
what they're
right.
supposed to.
I was,
I mean, it doesn't help that the president is standing there 5 minutes before going
and
like,
he said, "We love you all, and we understand where you're coming from, but it's time to go home."
"Go home, go home." No, he literally was like, "We need to go up there and storm the county." What was it he said? He
Exactly.
said something that like
He
completely encouraged them, and
I
people are
know.
gonna
Before it was like stand back and stand by.
Lord, and people are gonna come at us for this. Like I know it. They're gonna feel like that's not what he said, guys.
That
The
was
gist
literally
was
what he said.
the spark notes of that speech was we got to do what we got to do because as Republicans, whatever, conservatives, old white men, I don't know.
You should have seen the grandparents that came out to storm the Capitol.
Grandma was looking fire. I don't.
The American flag outfits. What is it?
Mhm.
What is the camo jackets?
Yep, camo jackets on top of the American flag.
Yeah.
The ripped jeans, the boots.
Yeah.
Don't forget the boots, the hats, cowboy hats, American flag hats.
All the people came out of the woodwork for this one.
But the thing with that is they genuinely believe
that
they have a right to do
and
that,
that they're not going to get in trouble. Did they? I feel.
I mean, some of them did. They're sort
Some
of like,
them definitely did get
but
arrested.
also what bothers me is how long it took them to be like, oh yeah, maybe we should like arrest some of these people.
Exactly. They were there for hours. It wasn't until what they put the curfew down.
The next, like that night, like everybody walked back out the Capitol. You don't see that at a Black Lives Matter protest. You see everybody in zip ties on a bridge somewhere,
getting
sitting
dragged,
on the street, getting tased, like. And then people are like helping
literally
old ladies down.
walking
Grandma, why are you
out.
there? You can't even walk up and down the stairs, ma'ams. Go home. It was
so annoying. I was. It really is a demonstration of what this country has become. And everyone saw this. Yeah. Everyone around the world saw this.
And that's where I start to go back to I support what they're doing. I just don't like how they're doing it. Black Lives Matter. How are we supposed to do it? How are you supposed to do it? Because I'm pretty sure that ain't it, sis. I'm pretty sure that's
you're not
how
supposed to break windows and attack people of Congress. I'm sorry.
How are you going to say you're like pro-American and then literally attack America?
Exactly.
What's more America than the Capitol building?
Burning down the Capitol, that means you don't want America. You want Donald Trump.
I mean, they want their America, but their America is just not cool.
They want pre-Civil War America.
That's not a cute America. That ain't it. Like,
there
yes,
were
that's
videos
America.
of them attacking, like when the protests were happening before, like attacking black people. There was this one girl who got caught in a mob. They like literally pulled at her hair, and someone said they were scalping her.
I did see that.
It was the first. What was it? The first victim of the revolution or something. I could not believe what I was seeing, because how can someone have so much hate in their heart for someone they don't even know just because of what they look like? Yeah. It's just upsetting because, like, think about how does that make this country look? It's like I'm embarrassed to be living here.
Yeah. I think all of us are.
Everyone should be embarrassed. Like, not to say that America, but like it's not. It's just like it's embarrassing.
It's not. No.
And I don't feel safe.
Mm-mm.
And I don't see why I should stand up to salute a flag
Yeah.
that isn't protecting me,
Right.
that wasn't made for me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. It just sucks. And I know a lot of you will be like, what you're saying is not okay. You should be supporting blue. You'll come for us. But it's like, it's the truth and it's how we feel. And it's how you've made us feel.
I mean, that's what it's like to be black and brown.
It really is. It's what it's like to be black and brown in America at this point in time. You don't feel safe
Mm-mm.
at all. You have to work 10 times harder to get the same things a Caucasian American
Yeah.
would
And people love to say that that doesn't happen anymore, but
But
it
it
does.
does. You just don't see it.
Especially
You
being a
don't
woman
want
at the
to
same
see it.
time.
Exactly.
Like,
And you don't want to see it.
no. But some people would say, well, oh, that doesn't happen, blah 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 blah. But the people who say it the most are white men, white boys, even, who are our age or younger or older, you know.
But the thing is, how do you know what we go through? What do you
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 don't.
don't know what it's like to be a woman.
And then you won't listen when we try to tell you.
Exactly. Like you don't want to hear it. Like if you actually want to have this conversation, listen, don't try to talk over us or just keep trying to push your opinions onto us. Listen, try and have a conversation with us and actually listen to our side. Listen to what we have to say.
Yeah.
And maybe we can come to an understanding where both of us understand each other better. But we're not going to get anywhere when we just keep arguing and just saying the same things back and forth and not listen to what the other person has to say.
Yeah.
Like
Agreed.
I'm open to listening to other people,
Yeah.
but it feels like people aren't open to listening to what I have to say because it scares them because it's not something they understand or want to understand because they know it's bad, but it's like I don't want to have to go through that.
Yeah.
So they'd rather stay ignorant to what is really going
Yeah.
on. And we're not going to get anywhere if we keep doing that.
I mean, I've always thought that like it's very easy to ignore what's happening when you don't have to go through it, right? So
Yeah.
why would anybody who doesn't have to go through that willingly say like, "Oh, I may be at fault even if I don't know it." You know?
Mm-hmm.
And like for us, being women of color, being activists, being student activists, all that stuff, like I do find it genuinely difficult sometimes to try and hear where people are coming from when they don't know what we're talking about. Like people say, "Oh, I totally understand. Like I know what's going on." And then you say something, post something on your story, say something, and then they'll come at you like, "What is this supposed to mean? And what is this and what is that?" And I'm like, "You said you felt like what was going on. I thought we were good here." And then all of a sudden it's like, you're being really aggressive and you always like attack people for blah blah blah. I'm like, "Honey, what do you want from me?" Like anybody who knows me knows I'm not like quiet. Like I'm not.
You're not, and it's not even aggressive. It's just you stating your opinion. If it had been somebody else, maybe not a woman of color, always painted as the angry black woman saying it, maybe you would have maybe you would have tried to understand it better. But like that stereotype just makes it hard for people to take us seriously when we're just trying to say how we feel, you know?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's,
It's
it's
not
just,
not cool.
it's not cool at all. It's a very sucky situation.
Yeah, I don't. And I mean, it's yeah. People always want to like never address it. Even after the summer of 2020, they're like, "Oh, well, that was the summer of 2020. It's 2021." I'm like, "Dude,
Like,
the
we
first
can't
month of
forget.
2021, we got that. We got that on national television,
We just,
global television. The rest of the world is like printing newspapers like this is America." Okay, cool. You mean like the
like,
person that's supposed to be like leading the whole world and like
we
everything?
cannot forget everything that happened. We cannot forget those conversations we started
Mhm.
having. We can't just forget about it like we have in the past.
Mhm.
We need to keep going
Mhm.
because there's no way we're going to make change if we don't keep having these conversations.
It's gonna end up in somebody's, maybe nobody's textbook. I don't know the way the school systems are working out. They're trying to block all that out, and
They
that's where
really
you need to
are.
start. I
It really
still
is.
think that like school and education from the very youngest of ages is where that starts. That's where you realize like I'm accepted, I'm not accepted, like people look at me weird, like
When you're one out of the three black people in the entire school,
mhm.
you definitely start to
when
see it.
people come up and ask like, "What are you?" and I'm just like, "Human."
When people ask, "Oh, how'd you do your hair like that? Is that actually your hair?"
Is that a
Wait,
weave?
and then when your braids are gone, they're like, "Wait, did you cut your hair?"
Oh
I'm so confused. And then when your parents are telling you you have to be extra careful, you can't act the same way all your
my
white
god.
friends do. It's like
Mhm. Mhm.
there's an obvious distinction.
Mhm.
And you're going to be like, there doesn't have to be. They don't have to say that. But it is true. You
Yeah.
do, because people will perceive you a certain way if you make one wrong move in
Yeah.
public.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
they
yeah.
have to have the N word talk with you at the age of 7. It's like it's so uncomfortable, and you don't ever want to have the conversation, but you do, because
Mhm.
otherwise your child will just be clueless. And then when it happens, how are they supposed to react?
Right.
Like, you're sending them out, they're going to be by themselves. They need to know how to stand up for themselves in that
Mhm.
situation, you know?
Mhm.
Because you have to learn from a young age, or else you
Mhm.
won't be prepared for it when you're older,
Mhm.
because people are mean. And there are still people who have that much hate in their hearts and are prejudiced against other people. And it's just like, it's sad, but children will be exposed to it at some point.
And that's how it is for us.
It really
I mean,
is.
it's different for me as well. Completely different to what you've like you said this before to me, and I was trying to think about like how it was for me, and with my dad being white and European, like an immigrant even, and my mom being African American from America. My household is confusing as all get out. It is completely different. The way they were raised is completely different. But my dad went through similar things that I go through because he's also mixed. So him growing up in Scotland with an Indian mom, he was called a Paki all the time, which we all know is not good. And all the very white Scottish children would always come after him and like attack him and his mom. And now I have the same kind of thing with my mom. And the most like some of it, I always thought it was like funny. Obviously, it's not. But when I was growing up, it was something that made me unique. It was something that was cool, I guess you could say. And people always asking like, "Who is that?" when your dad walks in the door because you're brown and he's white, or he's
Mm-hmm.
less brown.
Yeah.
Um, and everybody's like, "Who's that?" And I was like, "That's my dad." And they're like, "That's your dad?" And I'm like, "Yep." And then they see you and your mom, and then it makes sense. You know, if I
Mm-hmm.
walk in the room with my mom, they're like, "Oh, that's Kyle's mom." If I walk in the room with my dad, who is that guy? That's my dad. And it's just like weird. Like people are like, "What are you?" And I'm like, "What do you mean? What am I? Like I'm a person? Like what do you
You're a
what do you
human being.
what are
You're
you
a woman.
expecting from me right now?" And they're just like are you like black or like white or like, and I had people come out to me like, "Are you Mexican or like are you Spanish?" And I'm like, "No, actually, I'm not." Um I have people in classes from middle this is my favorite one. They're arguing, the group of them on the other side of the classroom are arguing about like my ethnicity. They're like, "No,
Oh.
she's Indian. I know she's part Indian." They're like, "No, she's not. There's no way. She's black and white." They're genuinely having an argument on the other side of the classroom about like me. And I'm like, "Yeah, I am Indian. I am a third Indian." Like, and they're like, "How did you hear us?" Because you're talking at a
About
stupid
you.
loud volume about my ethnicity, like
Like, do
my
you know how
nationality and stuff.
ignorant that is? And insensitive. Like, how would you feel if there was a group of people talking about you on the other side of the room?
I mean, I make jokes about that all the time because literally I don't care. And I'm very like proud that I can be that comfortable with myself to where
And you
like
should
that
be.
doesn't, because I love being mixed.
And
Like I
you're
love being able to like,
beautiful.
"Oh, thank you, thank you."
Honestly.
But like it's hilarious. I have people running up to me in gym class like, "Hey, yo, are you Mexican?" I'm like, "No." And they're like, "Bro, I told you she wasn't Mexican." Like, literally, I could be like anything. Like, no, you don't know what the heck I am.
And
You,
you know what? It's none of their
none of your
business unless
business.
they're your friend and they have the right to ask you that question. But if you're just, no. But it's like, yes, you should be proud, and you shouldn't let people like that get
Yeah,
to you, because honestly, it's just annoying, and they can go pack up
and
and
leave.
leave.
But like the whole growing up is completely different for me because I don't get those talks. I just didn't. What I do get is the struggles of my parents being white and black, multiracial couples, because they've been together for a very long time. And they were together before you saw mixed couples on every commercial and on every TV show. And when they first started coming out with all these commercials of like multiracial families, they were like, wow, look at that. That's
I
us. That's
know.
crazy. And they're so like shady about it too, because I was like roasting all these people. They're like, look at companies trying to make bank off of us. What? Oh,
I
but
know. Finally, we see mixed couples. We
mhm.
see black couples. We see black families. We
Yes,
see,
Black Joy,
yes, we see
Black Power.
homosexual couples.
Yes,
We
very
see
nice.
all the different types of couples. We see
That's what we like to
all
see.
the inclusive commercials, and it is good to see. But there is a point where you have to be like, so are they just doing this because
Like
they
Pride
don't
Month.
want to get,
Happy Pride Month, by the way.
yes, happy Pride Month, but like, are they doing this just so they can get money and they
Yeah.
won't get canceled, or do they actually care about spreading this message and making everyone feel included? But
It's really
a conversation for another day.
annoying. What I find like crazy is that all those stories, like between the two of us, me being more light skin, I guess, than because I'm not full black.
Yeah,
I have slightly different experiences, but like in school, it could be really bad. And I'm like, we see companies and like adults and like all this coming up with it, but some kids, especially like in high school, it's kind of late for them to be like not knowing about anything, or
exactly.
saying all these microaggressions, being kind of racist without even
And
knowing it,
then
or
afraid of
with by
saying
knowing
something because they don't know if it actually is racist.
it. But most of the time they say it anyway.
They do.
That's the problem.
And then
Yo,
we
can
don't.
I get an N-word pass?
No.
What's your experience with the N-word pass? I want to know.
Okay, I was in middle school, so the few black guys there were, they had all their white friends, right?
Mhm.
And so, all the white boys thinking they're all that and black and everything, and you hear them asking for the N-word pass. So there was this one situation I had heard about because someone came and told me about it. So of course I'm not gonna, no, not gonna say. But okay, so there was this guy, and so it was two white girls, I believe, and they were his friends or whatever. And so I don't know exactly what it was, but he had said something maybe, and because like he had given, I guess, his friends passes before, they thought it was
Nice.
okay. So this girl ended up saying the N word to him, but I'm pretty sure it was with a hard R because of something he had said. And I was like,
Yo.
this is why nobody should get a pass.
Why? Who?
This is why nobody should even be using the word.
No,
Like, I don't
don't.
understand why the word is even necessary. Because, like, I understand the point of taking it back and using it like that's your friend or whatever. But you have to think about this. That makes people think they have the right to say it now too, as long as they don't use that R. That it makes them think they're entitled to the word as well. And so it just defeats the purpose of taking the word back because it's still being used in a discriminatory note against you. So I feel like there are better ways. Like I literally had this conversation with some girls in the locker room my freshman year because it came up and they had asked me about it, and I was like, I just think the word just needs to be let go because I personally just will never use the word, and I won't use that to address somebody, and I will never feel comfortable with someone asking me for that pass because no. I'll give you a nice Negro, but like I'm not gonna say I will never use the N word. I'm
Yeah, my
sorry.
Negro. Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, but no.
Mine, like I said, some of our experiences are very different just because I'm half black and not. Yo, can't with these people. White boys coming up to me asking other people for N-word passes, like, yo, I just need the N-word pass. What do you need?
You don't need it.
You don't need the N-word. Use another word.
You don't need different word.
Need that
you
type.
don't need anything.
Just say hi. You don't have to say
Honestly,
hi. You don't
Use
need
bro, dude.
my guy. Like what?
Honestly.
Anything, y'all. What is this going around like hands like open, asking for like donations? Like he's like walking around like he wants money or something. Like, I just need the N-word pass. Then they look around the room for anybody that's a couple shades darker than ghostly white. I don't know. Looking around, scanning the room, comes up to me. Yo, can I get a stops and goes, actually no, you can't. You no. You can't even give me an N-word pass. I was like,
Okay,
what is
first
this?
of all,
And then I have people telling me like they're sorting it out with the other mixed kid in the class. They're sorting it out. And they're like asking him for an N-word pass, and they're like, no, you can't do it either. They were like, you guys are mixed, so you can say it, but you can't give the pass.
okay.
And I'm like, who are these white boys coming up to
First
me?
of all, you are white. You don't get to
You
tell
don't-
somebody how black they are. You are not them. You have
Y'all.
there is no reason why any white person should ever tell a person of
Mm-mm.
color that they are not black enough, that they are not dark enough, that they are not of a certain race. That is
nobody,
inexcusable.
Nobody
not
should
okay
say that
at all.
to anybody. I don't care if you're white or black. Because I got
never
mixed people get black people coming in like you're not even like black.
Exactly,
like,
and it's not okay.
We don't know where we're supposed to be, so we're just doing the best we possibly
You are
can.
a person of color. You are a black woman, and you should be treated as such. And no one should try to take that away from you. No one can take somebody's nationality, ethnicity, or anything away from them. And if you try to, it is unacceptable. And
here's my thing: if I'm walking down the street and a cop comes up to me and they assume I've done something and they just arrest me because I'm dark enough for that.
Mhm.
If I'm dark enough for that, I'm
Then
dark enough for everything else.
are,
If I could walk into like a mall and somebody would call the cops on me, I'm dark enough.
Yes, the cops will not differentiate between a mixed person and a black person.
So I'm
There's
like,
no difference.
I'm good. I'm solid. But that's the one thing that like hit me. That was like freshman, sophomore year, I think. And I'm just like, no. No, I remember telling my mom that, and she was like, "What?" And I was like, "I do not need a white boy coming up to me saying like, oh, you're not black enough for this, you're not dark enough. Like, oh, you can say the N word, but like, you can't be giving me well, you can't be saying nothing.
You can't say it or take it at all.
I don't know why
you have no black in you.
Exactly. You can't
None.
say it.
You are white chocolate white.
If I can't give it, you can't say it.
Exactly.
That's all.
And it's so annoying. It is so annoying. Having to grow up in predominantly white schools is a struggle, because then when you're around more black people, they're like, oh, you're whitewashed. Oh, you're a white girl in a black girl's body.
You're a white black girl.
That always makes, like, one time, my dance team coach actually, she said, because I'm from Waxhaw, she was like, because I guess like there was a hip hop dance, and she said it looked very white, and she was like, and I looked like offended, and she was like, you're from Waxhaw, North Carolina, and I was like, wow, because I'm pretty sure her children are mixed, and she's like with a black man, and I was like, wow. I was like, I can't believe she just said that to me. Of course, I didn't say anything because, I couldn't come off as disrespectful because there were already issues going on with the coach. But like, you can't say stuff like that. It wasn't okay, and it was very upsetting. But no, I don't appreciate it when people try to make me feel less black because of where I was raised.
That's crazy. I mean, like, for me, people always try to make me feel less this or less that because I'm not white, I'm not black, I'm not. I mean, if I went to India, they'd be like, what? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I don't
it's
really.
Like, if I don't act a certain way, I'm not black enough. But if I do act a certain way, I'm too black.
You're ghetto,
like, and then
ratchet. And
sometimes you feel weird because then you're out with like your white friends, and then there are black people around, and they're like, and it's just like, it makes you feel self-conscious, and it's like, I don't know.
Why can't I be me and be black?
Exactly. Like, why can't I be black and still have some white friends and black friends? I don't understand why I'm being judged because of where I was raised. Like, it wasn't my choice. My parents just wanted me to be in a safer environment. But
Mm-hmm.
sure, it comes with its own
Mm-hmm.
struggles. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I
I
don't know.
think like you said, dance and like sports are the places where that comes out the most. Especially at our school, we're all nerds basically. I mean, especially with me being in engineering, when you're doing like all those STEM classes and stuff, I'm usually the only brown, black, one of them, especially the only
Yeah,
girl. There's only like two or three of us girls in my class who are like graduating class who are in that academy and are brown, colored. I don't
yeah.
know.
I'm the only black girl in
The
the
whole, the
senior
whole.
dance class.
Are you serious?
Yeah, because my friend left her freshman year, so I'm the only black girl in the senior dance class as of this moment. There are, what is it? There's two in the junior class. I believe there's one in the now sophomore class.
I don't like.
I haven't seen the freshman class yet,
I
but
just
yeah,
don't. That doesn't. And
I'm the only
like
one in
at
my
our
senior
school, you
class.
expect people to be.
More inclusive,
Yeah.
but then there's like, I won't go down the auto tech hallway because
Yep. Don't go back there. just you just every time you turn the corner, it's just like, I'm afraid.
you hear those boots coming down the
Yep.
hallway.
Yep. I mean, we were in the same room for the ACT when we took the ACT at school, and the guy sitting next to me was wearing a Trump mask. And I was like, why is this allowed? You know what I mean? Like,
Exactly.
we're not allowed to wear political whatever, whatever.
But he comes in with a Trump 2020
That's
mask
not,
on and you
that's
don't say
not,
anything.
that's not
You're more worried about my shoulders.
really, Re- really, my kneecaps, my elbow, like all
You
this stuff.
know?
My collarbones can't be showing, but dude can walk in here and people know who you are. They like, especially for us, when we walk down the hallway and we see you wearing Trump anything, your parking spot is painted like a Trump flag. We see any of that, we know, and we know we gotta walk an extra like 5 feet away from you,
Like,
like
we're
social
up
distancing.
against the wall.
Yes, like beep, 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 beep.
sliding.
Nope, 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 nope. I ain't trying to. But like people at our school, it is mostly white people still, and you think they're gonna be making more of an effort to like learn about this, be self conscious, do all this, and instead you get some of your best friends, especially in sports, where I run track, so like on the track, black people tend to dominate.
They do.
That's just what we do. Like
You
what?
know what? Common logic.
Just fast. I had a teammate. Had a teammate. Anytime he lost a race, and as long as the only people who beat him were black, he counted that as a win. He was like, it's okay because they're all black. And I knew his pattern, and I chose to be like friends with him anyway. That's what's the thing was. He was saying all these microaggressions, really, like, oh, it's okay he beat me because he's black, or like they only beat me because they're black. Oh, no, 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 no. Anyways, and
And you're
I let
undermining their win.
exactly. I let Mama Mac lay into him. I let my mom lay into him about that. I just and he was like, "What? No, I never. I why would I? And he was like, "No, I would never say that. I want to be black." And I was like, "Oh, there it is."
Oh,
He
God.
said that literally. That's what he said. I was like, okay. And those are the people that you have these conversations with in 2020 when it comes back around, and I'm like,
And you
I
realize who your
ignored
real
I
friends
ignored
are.
this for so long, and I let this go on, and I literally had the conversation with him 3 times before summertime, before that whole BLM thing happened. Like, I would always say, like, don't say that. Why would you? What does that hold? He was a fast runner. He was a good runner, but like, you can't just say that the only reason you lost is because you were white.
It'll get you in trouble once you get out to the real world.
That's what I
Because
told him.
someone will be quick
That's what I
to
told
shut
him.
you up.
I was like, you need to go and like experience some actual real world life,
Yeah.
Like, I don't know why you think that this is okay. And those are the people that you think are your friends until it comes down to it. And I'm asking these people, like, if it came down to it, and I'm walking around with you, and people come up to me and start attacking me for literally whatever they could make up in their heads, because that's what people like to do, what are you gonna do? Are
Sit
you gonna
there.
be like, oh, well, why are you guys saying this? But then you're gonna, what, low-key agree with them in the back of your head? What is this? I'm your friend.
you're either with me,
or you don't really care that much, do you? I
honestly.
don't know why you thought. And those are people that go to our school. Really, really. I'm legit your friend. I'm like ride or die with you, and apparently I'm dying and not riding.
Exactly. Like, obviously, you didn't mean anything you said because it's
Lord,
all fake. I don't know.
they're literally going like at. We're gonna be seniors this year.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be
What?
seniors this year. Oh gosh. And after that is college. It's adults. And
It
I'm
is.
sitting here talking to my friends who were seniors at the time, and I'm like, you guys are literally going to college. And this is how you think? Like this is how you act? Like when I speak, if I'm not talking peace, love, and happiness, I'm doing something wrong. But obviously we know that like peaceful protesting is only one part of it. Like you have to be vocal, you have to say things that maybe people don't want to hear. And when I
Exactly.
came at them, they were just like, you're not listening to me. That's what I got a lot.
Oh, wow.
I got you're not listening to what I'm saying. Well, what are you saying? Because half the time what you say does not make
You're
any sense.
basically
All
just
you're trying to
defending
do
yourself
all you're
against what
trying
I'm
to do
trying to
is
tell you.
come against what I'm saying because apparently what I'm saying is wrong.
Yes. But you
Everything I'm
can't think
saying
of
is
a
wrong.
reason why what I'm saying is wrong.
Exactly.
Just that it is.
What?
So,
What?
let's have an educated conversation when you're ready.
Yeah, exactly. And then they get so offended. Like,
I'm sorry. That was.
what did you want? What did
I
you want me to
don't
say?
know what you were expecting. You wanted to have this conversation. I
For
wasn't
real.
about to hold back
For
for
real.
your little ego. Like,
Mhm.
I don't understand, but you don't understand.
Like some things I don't like. Oh, why are you just trying to like argue all the time?
It's like you're like mad, and then you get tired,
Yeah,
and it's
I got
like
completely burnt out.
what's the point anymore if nobody's going
Yeah,
to listen to try?
yeah.
And you know what? It sucks because like I'm tired.
Mm-hmm.
It's like I can't even deal with it anymore, and I feel like there's like this one person that I still feel like I still can sense some of them, and it's just like honestly at this point, like there's no point in even commenting anymore
Yeah.
because like if they're not going to realize what they're saying, and I understand like there are some people who try and they'll like ask you questions, but there's a point where it's like are the questions really like you trying to learn, or are you just trying to point out again that I am not the same, you know?
Yeah. School is crazy.
It is.
School is a special place, isn't it?
Whoever said they enjoyed going to school or high school was the best years of their life
Yeah,
lied.
I don't know about that.
A complete and total lie.
Yeah. So I mean, anybody in any grade really needs to start
Being
thinking about
aware of
this
what
stuff.
they're saying.
Yeah.
Think about the way you treat others, guys.
Yep. Be careful. You know.
You don't want to get yourself into a situation where someone will finally stand up and show you what's what.
Eek. Yeah, that'd be kind of awkward for you guys, huh? But I mean, for those of you guys that may listen that are older, younger, black, white.
And people of color,
Yep.
do not take that from people.
Yeah.
Do not let them walk all over you. Do not let them make those remarks towards you. Stand up for yourself. Make sure people know that it's not okay and that you deserve to be respected and treated with dignity like any other person in this world. Because you do. And you are beautiful. And you are going to change the world.
Period.
That's facts.
The only other thing is how to handle adults, teachers, administration. Really, administration needs to.
So with teachers, I found in the past, I always go to my parents,
Right.
and I let the adults handle the adults because, like, even though some adults really never grew up from being kids, like you're still younger, and they might not be as prone to listen to you. So the best thing is to go to a parent because your parents have dealt with this much longer than you have, and they will have a much better, maybe more respectful way of dealing with it. And when they talk to an adult, they might be more likely to listen and realize, okay, that's not okay. You know, that is my suggestion. If it is an adult or administrator making you feel uncomfortable in that way. In my personal experience.
Okay. Well, guys, that was our K squared conversation.
Yeah!
Oh, look at that! Look at me go. Okay, I'm on a roll
Okay.
today. Guys, we hope you enjoyed this episode of Mixed Messages. We will be back hopefully sooner than last time. Yeah, we know we took a break. It was finals. Okay, leave us alone. Sorry. But happy Juneteenth. Happy Pride Month. Be sure you guys check us out on Instagram at Sustainable Sisters Project and on Twitter at Sustainable Sis7. We will see you guys in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.